Gross misconduct hearings which are going to get it wrong. If you're a whistleblower, has it got a negative or a positive connotation? Swore an oath of office to the king or to the queen, bless her soul, that you would uphold their law.
Do you think the code of ethics has been weaponised against cops? Because it was brought in.
Yeah.
It was brought in, I believe, for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
This is how we behave as cops. These are our standards. But actually,
I think there's isolated incidents.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. There's isolated incidents where I think, I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Yeah.
But the majority of them, when I read not what was in the press, but when I read the findings of the panel, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. There's some gross misconduct hearings which are going to get it wrong, but the individual is allowed to appeal, and that's why I don't want to talk much about the PC Castle case, because he may appeal.
Yeah.
And I don't want to influence that in any way. But there's an avenue to appeal. We often hear about, when something like that happens, or like the murder of Sarah Everard, bless her soul, may she rest in peace. I'm not even going to say his name, but his nickname on his shift was the rapist. And no one thought to challenge that. No inspector or sergeant thought, the rapist, what's going on there? The precursor behaviour that led to her murder, bless her soul. Like, I don't know, when I think about what she would have gone through, it breaks my heart. And no one did anything.
No.
So, look, if it sounds like I'm getting emotional about this, it's because I am, and with good reason. And you'd get people on social media saying, but it's just one bad apple in the barrel. We're not all like that. It's one bad apple. That bad apple didn't become that bad straight away. I will put money on this to a charity of anyone's choice, that bad apple, when we look back, like the sergeant...
That he's done stuff before.
Yeah, that sergeant who was rightly dismissed and should be breathing a sigh of relief that he's not facing sexual assault charges, which would have been proved, I'm quite sure, with the number of witnesses around, and his own admission that he did it, there would have been precursor behaviour. So I don't think the problem is necessarily the bad apples, because when that bad apple gets its first bruise, what did all the good apples in the barrel do? If they did nothing, well, there's that phrase. The standard you walk past is the standard you're prepared to accept, and the standard you've just become.
I think there was a huge lack of, almost like a whistleblowing process back then. Whereas now, I know certainly in the two forces that I've served, there are systems in place where cops and our police staff can go on and make reports about things that they've seen or heard. But I think now it's gone full circle. So it's almost people are getting on there and reporting things that they're not the sorts of things that should be reported.
Yeah, and I think there may be some of that going on. There may be some mischief going on. This is really difficult. There's a difficult line here, and I think this line continually moves. Here's a concept. Here's a thing, though. If you're a whistleblower, has it got a negative or a positive connotation?
I think it depends on what you're reporting.
And I think it depends on the barrel, the culture that you're in. Yeah. Like, what's the barrel like? Is it a culture that supports that? Because let's not forget, look, the Code of Ethics is an act of Parliament, yes?
Yeah.
It's a code of practice under an act of Parliament. The Code of Ethics requires every person who works and volunteers for the police service, if they witness misconduct, to challenge it, question it, report it. That's the law. You swore an oath of office to the king or to the queen, bless her soul, that you would uphold their law. This is why people don't perform, by the way. There's 5 reasons why people don't perform. And this, for me, is performance.
Yeah.
This is, for me, is about performance, because you're demonstrating a behaviour which is what communities want to see, what the force wants to see, what your colleagues want to see. It's performance. So there's 5 reasons why people don't perform. 1, they didn't know they needed to do it. 2, they didn't know when they needed to do it. The next one, number 3, so we've got don't know you need to do it, don't know when you need to do it. Here's a big one. Number 3, they don't know how to do it. So in initial training, I know this, most forces deliver shock and awe from professional standards who will come and speak to them, code of ethics, here's some case studies. No one shows them how to do this. And I can tell you now from my own experience, challenging unacceptable behaviour, challenging corruption, challenging violent assaults on prisoners that was completely unnecessary is hard. Like, it's hard. It's a skill that I developed, and I'm proud that I developed it because I stood up to do the right thing, and I feel as though I retired with honour, having stood up to do the right thing when it was difficult to do so. But no one showed me how. The 4th one, they're not motivated to do it. So that's the culture. If this is seen as being okay from a good sergeant, then I'm not motivated. I'm not going to do this. This is someone who's senior to me. So they're not motivated to do it. And the 5th one is external factors. So it may be that they did report it, so we don't know what happened. And so the external factor stopped it actually being dealt with. There's my theory. You can apply this to anything. If anyone's out there and actually knows a 6th thing, but these are the 5 reasons why people don't perform for anything. Stop and search, whatever it is. They don't know the need to do it. They don't know when they need to do it. They don't know how to do it. They're not motivated to do it, or there's an external factor.